The first crack came before the scream. I felt my own bone give way against the kitchen counter, the same counter where I'd rolled biscuits for 43 Thanksgivings. Daniel's fist, my baby boy's fist, landed just below my heart because I wouldn't sign the farm away. One pop, then another, like ice breaking on the creek behind the barn. I slid down the cabinets, apron soaked in coffee and blood, staring up at the boy who once begged me to read "Goodnight Moon" one more time. He didn't even look sorry. He just said, "Sign it, Mom, or I'll make sure the next one's your hip." That's the moment your screen should freeze, my gray eyes wide, his shadow swallowing the light. Stay with me. You need to hear what happened after the ambulance left. My name is Eleanor Grace Whitaker, 68 last April, and I still smell like the lavender soap I've used since 1979. The hospital in Clarksville kept me 4 nights. Ribs 3 and 4, hairline fractures. The nurse, sweet girl named Tia, wrapped me so tight I could only breathe in sips. Every inhale tasted like metal. Daniel never visited. His wife, Crystal, sent a text. "Hope you're resting. We'll swing by when you're home." Swing by. Like they were picking up dry cleaning. They released me on a Tuesday that felt like winter even though the dogwoods were blooming. My neighbor, Mrs. Delgado, drove me the 12 miles back to the farmhouse on Red Oak Road. The porch swing creaked in the wind, empty. I'd painted it robin's egg blue the summer Daniel turned 7, his little legs pumping while I pushed. Now the paint peeled like sunburnt skin. Inside, the air smelled of lemon polish and abandonment. Someone had washed my coffee cup. 1 cup, 1 saucer. The rest of the dishes, gone. I opened the pantry, bare shelves except for a single box of off-brand oatmeal. My good cast-iron skillet, the one my mama used to fry chicken for church picnics, missing. I knew before I climbed the stairs. The cedar chest in my bedroom, where I kept the deed, the savings bonds, Papa's war medals, was pried open, empty. Only the faint scent of Daniel's cologne lingered, the one I bought him every Christmas because it smells like success, Mom. Success. I sat on the edge of the bed, corset digging into the bruises, and felt the house itself exhale around me. The floorboards remembered my barefoot dances with his father. The windows remembered sunrise through my lace curtains. The walls remembered every bedtime prayer. And now they remembered violence. Let me take you back so the betrayal stings proper. I married young, 19, to Tommy Whitaker, who could fix anything with a wrench and a hymn. We bought this 100 acres with a VA loan and a dream. I miscarried twice before Daniel arrived, blue-eyed and colicky, screaming like the world already owed him. Tommy died in 98, combined accident, left me the land and a boy who still slept with a nightlight shaped like a tractor. I kept body and soul together waitressing at the Dixie truck stop, double shifts, tips in a Maxwell House can. Every dollar I didn't spend on groceries went into Daniel's future. Braces, baseball cleats, that used pickup when he turned 16. I sold the back 40 to pay for his community college. Sold Mama's silver when he wanted to start a landscaping business. Sold my wedding ring the year Crystal's braces couldn't wait. Each sale felt like peeling off a layer of my own skin, but I told myself love looks like sacrifice. Love looks like empty jewelry boxes and a pantry full of ramen. The farm was the last piece. Prime riverfront. Developers circling like buzzards. Offers climbed to 7 figures. Daniel's business tanked, bad contracts, worse partners. Crystal wanted granite countertops and a pool for the grandkids we'll have someday. They started small. Mom, just borrow against the equity. Mom, just cosign. Mom, it's basically yours anyway. Then the tone shifted. You're in your pride. Sitting on dirt while we struggle. I'd find Crystal in my kitchen, measuring walls for her fantasy remodel. Daniel stopped asking. He started telling, sign it, or we're done pretending you're family. The night he broke me, I'd cooked his favorite. Chicken and dumplings, the way Tommy liked, thick with cream. I set the table for 3, cloth napkins, the good plates with the tiny cracked rows. Crystal never showed. Daniel ate 2 bowls, wiped his mouth, slid the contract across the pine planks. Bank's ready. Pen's right there, I said no. Not yelled, just no, soft as falling snow. That's when his hand balled. That's when the world tilted. Back home from the hospital, I moved slow, like swimming through sorghum molasses. Mornings, I'd shuffle to the hen house, 6 Rhode Island Reds clucking sympathy. I'd collect eggs one-handed, the basket bumping my hip. The cold floorboards bit my bare feet. I'd pause at the window, watch frost feather the glass, and remember Daniel at 4, nose pressed to that same pane, waiting for the school bus. Don't leave me, Mama. I never did. Until now. The realization didn't crash. It seeped. 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3. I counted them like rosary beads. On the 7th morning, I called Mr. Hargrove, the lawyer who drafted Tommy's will. His office smelled of pipe smoke and old paper. I laid the hospital bracelet on his desk like evidence. I want the deed in a trust. My name only. Revocable until I'm gone, then to the county land preservation. He didn't flinch. Just asked if I was sure. I thought of the empty cedar chest. Surer than Sunday, I said. Next, the safe deposit box. I'd forgotten it existed. Tommy's habit, hiding birthday cash for Daniel behind the spark plugs in the barn. Inside, the original land grant, yellowed but intact, and a life insurance policy I'd cashed to keep the lights on after the funeral. Enough to hire a locksmith. Enough to change every cylinder in the house. Enough to pay 3 months on a tiny apartment above the library in town, the one with the crooked stove and the window boxes begging for geraniums. I packed light. 1 suitcase, the blue one with the broken wheel. Tommy's Bible, Mama's quilt, faded but warm. The cracked rose plate. I couldn't leave it for them to sell. I left the oatmeal on the counter like a joke. Took the cast iron skillet from where I'd hidden it under the porch. At dusk, I locked the door, slipped the new key onto a ribbon around my neck. The swing creaked goodbye. They came 2 weeks later. I heard the pickup before I saw it. Muffler still shot, same as high school. Daniel's boots on the gravel. Crystal's heels clicking like accusations. I watched from the apartment window, lace curtain brushing my cheek. He rattled the knob. Yelled my name like a curse. Then the begging started. Mom, open up. This is insane. We're family. Crystal's voice syrupy. Eleanor, the kids miss their grandma. I sipped chamomile, let the steam fog my glasses. The phone rang, unknown number. I let it ring. Voicemail, Daniel's voice cracking. You're killing us. The bank foreclosed. Where are we supposed to go? I didn't answer. Instead, I watered the geraniums. Red blooms, stubborn against November. I joined the library book club. Mostly widows, sharp-tongued, kind. Thursdays, I bake cornbread in my tiny oven, the skillet singing like it remembers. Evenings, I walk the river trail, watch the water carry leaves downstream. Sometimes I press my hand to my side, feel the ridges where bones knit crooked. Proof I survived. The farm sold last month, not to developers. The trust donated it to the 4-H for agricultural education. Kids learn to milk cows where Daniel once chased fireflies. There's a plaque by the barn. In memory of Tommy and Eleanor Whitaker, may the land teach what love could not. Crystal sent a letter forwarded by Hargrove. You're heartless. He's your son. I wrote back on a postcard of the river at sunrise. He stopped being my son the night he chose money over mercy. Tell him the river keeps moving. So do I. Tonight, the apartment smells of cinnamon apples. I rock in a thrift store chair, quilt over my knees, listening to wind chimes Mrs. Delgado hung outside my door. The pain is a dull echo now, like thunder miles away. I think of empty chairs at Thanksgiving, of Daniel's face when the sheriff served the no trespass order, of Crystal's mouth twisting around words she couldn't take back. I think of the key on its ribbon, warm against my chest. Control isn't the land. It isn't the skillet or the deed. It's this quiet room, this choice to open my door only to those who knock gentle. If you're listening, wrinkled hands wrapped around coffee gone cold, know this. Love isn't a ledger. You don't tally bruises against birthdays. When they demand your bones, you walk, even if it's one slow step at a time. Plant something anyway. Geraniums, kindness, boundaries. Watch it bloom red against the coming winter. The house is empty, but I am full. The ribs healed crooked, but I stand straight. And tomorrow the river keeps moving. So will I.